Hey guys, crazy video. And just because I'm the wit chat doesn't mean I'm doing the wit, as you can see from the title down below. You might be wondering what this Aussie road to glory is. Imagine yourself as somebody who's been absolutely wonderful at whatever you do. For the past 13, 14 years, 15 years, whatever. For a long period of time, you've been very good at something you do, whether it be studying, whether you playing, some singing, dancing, whatever. You've been very good at it. All of a sudden, some minor lapse in concentration, whether it be or some physical circumstance you cannot avoid, some important exam or something happening at within your personal surroundings or something, and then after that you've never been able to hit that peak where you've hit, and however hard you try, it's not happening, but you've still got a long time ahead and you can possibly do. And that's where Australia are at the moment after the ball tampering scandal. They seem to rise to extreme peaks under Steve Smith winning that test in Pune. I mean, they lost out the series, but the way they could play out spin. It was better than last time they toured India, or the last 3-4 times they toured India. They destroyed England. I mean, made England seem like they weren't even in opposition when they played in the Ashes, and they were looking a good team. And then they win the first test in Durban in South Africa, and you're saying, okay, well, you expected 3-1 Australia. They lose the second test, they come to the third test. They're not in a very commanding position. And after that, whatever happens is not very important to what I'm trying to say here. They go through ball tampering scandals, they lose the respect of the Australian community, and then Tim Paine becomes the new image of how people will perceive the Australians. Handshakes are before every match, and tries to put up a performance against England, but they lose it final, and in an ODI series they're never going to go challenge England. So now, after a good break, they come into Pakistan, and now playing in the UAE is not easy. The last time they came, they were absolutely gritted out by some 7-hour, 8-hour marathons or whatnot. And the Khawaja returns the favour back to the Pakistani with an 8-hour marathon and salvages a draw. Now, the Australian people will not be looking at performances. Right now, for them, the moral respect, the way that people play, the courage, everything has to step back to the fore, and that's been shown not regardless of performances, but via leadership roles. As you can see, Travis Head and Michael Nesser, and then the other two have been with Peter Siddle. They're trying to get leadership people in, trying to say that performances are important from now on going forward, but right now we're looking to see how people perceive ourselves. And I decided, what will Australia try to be? And I've seen Australia as a good superpower. The way they play the cricket is absolutely fascinating. The way they bring up talent after talent. One guy goes out, one guy comes in. They're able to do it time after time after time. And I decided, well, Australia don't deserve this situation because of two people's brain farts. And I decided, let's try to let's take them to glory from where they are at the dismal show. So the aim of the series would basically be to win the 2019 World Cup and the 2020 T20 World Cup. So that's what I'm deciding to do in this series. Anyway, I'm very sorry for the clarity. I'm trying to get a recorder in, but circumstances do not permit it at the moment. But as soon as it comes, you guys will enjoy. But as for now, enjoy episode 1. Hey guys, welcome to Aussie Road to Glory episode number 1. I'm gonna be taking you through the teams right now. I named it Aussie Glory because I didn't have the patience to go through the actual Australian team. So if you look at Aussie Glory, the teams come. You have Aaron, I'm just going to show the lineup. We have Aaron Finch, Usman Khawaja, Sean Marsh, Travis Head, Mitch Marsh at 5, Marnus Labuschagne, Tim Paine, captain wicketkeeper, Mitchell Starc, Nathan Lyon, Peter Siddle, John Howland, and Michael Nesser, third man. 12th man, sorry, I got Josh Hazelwood, Patrick Cummins in there, but depending upon availability, I'll slot them in. So we'll jump straight into the tour of Pakistan, which again customizedly created. The clarity isn't so bad, but I think most of you guys would enjoy watching it on a proper frame. But if you look at the Pakistan team, you still have Misbah Ulaq and Yunus Khan in there. And some random fellow called Imran Khan, whom I've never heard. So I'll try to work that out because this Pakistan team isn't supposed to be that great. So I'm actually I'll edit it out before the second test match starts. We're going to play this in Dubai because I don't know where the first test match was actually played, Dubai, Sharjah, whatever. So Tim Paine out with the coin in Dubai, and it's actually going to be pretty flat pitched. I made sure to that. So tails never fails is the call I'm going out with. But Australia deserved something better, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to take them through to the 2019 World Cup final and make them win. The way the series is going to work is I'm going to be just basically showing not every single thing that happens. That's going to get pretty boring actually here and there. Not trying, if I'm going to show everything. Azhar Ali and Sami Aslam out to open. Mid start, left arm fast, mid start. Now you might be wondering, with this Australian team, you're going to see very often injuries and stuff like that. And those injuries I'm going to actually try to simulate to quite a front. Now if I'm going to see that Josh Hazelwood is actually the fittest of the three out of the three pace bowlers. So Stark is going to be, I'm going to make sure I manage Stark's workload to quite a front, because Don Bradman Cricket 17 or any cricket game up to this front hasn't really worked on to a point where if you bowl a certain overs you're going to get injured. So I'm going to be smart about this, and I'm going to give Stark for a test match. In a match he cannot, since it's I'm playing this on a 90 over game, so I'm going to say he cannot exceed, if you're bowling first, then 30 is the maximum to which he can bowl. So per innings, so first innings 30, second innings 15, so per match 45. If I exceed that 45, he's going to be sore, and eventually he'll pick up an injury. And that the basic guidelines of the series I'll just lay out as it comes. But I'm going to be just showing you guys the first over, just because just kind of set into a series, and it was kind of dismal first over. So I want to show that how bad I am at this game, that I'm not one of the best. So you guys shouldn't be expecting that kind of stuff. Straight away takes to a backward point, Azhar Ali. And that thing I hate about this game, I'm trying to pull it back, but they ran over the rope. So that's some basic idiocracy over there. But so like I gave, I don't know if I gave it in the introduction, but just for this Pakistan series alone, I'll not be I'm gonna work with the squads that are there. But as things move on, I'm gonna basically be somebody. I'm gonna be the selector, national selector to be say. I'm gonna be scouting talent, and I'll be placing in players just as I like. And at the same time, I've edited certain stats. For example, if you take a look, they've put Manas Labuschagne as just a batsman, and they gave him a 57 rated batsman. Now the way I watched him play, he doesn't deserve to be 57. I upped him up to a 63, and I gave him a all-rounder spot. So for Travis said, I gave him a batting all-rounder. So I've been making certain things like that, giving my Mitch Marshall vice captaincy. Steve Smith and David Warner nowhere to be found. I just have them on a specific disc, and at that moment when we near the 2019 World Cup phase, which is when they should be out of their thing, at that point in time we will see whether we can give them a, maybe if I want to bring them in. But at the same time, I'm not be creating my own tours or whatnot. I'm just gonna be following the FTP as much as they've given. So if you take a look during the April 2019, May 2019 window, you will actually not be getting any kind of any kind of matches, because that's the IPL time. If you guys want me to do certain matches with the IPL, like maybe 5-6 overs, then yes, I'll be trying to do it. But our aim right now will be 2019 World Cup. But for the 2020 T20 World Cup, we'll actually go into the IPL and see how certain players are performing in the IPL, and depending upon that, we'll try to take a look. But we'll get to all those minor, small, little complications as we get there. I have no idea why I was delaying this much. I was trying to get the keeper up, but then I decided, well, let's not keep him up because there's enough carry, and then it's kind of stupid the way I go about this thing. But see, that's one terribly trying to go for the outs. I thought I was bowling an in-swinger, so I decided, well, let's go attack his pads. Let's kill Azhar Ali straight away. Figuratively, not literally. We don't want to be that Australian team where we're going to try to kill people anymore. The series is basically to see that let's be quiet, let's not sledge. Let's try to put a better moral perspective. Sami Aslam and Nathan, what the hell is Nathan Lyon bowling the second over for? And that's why I bring in Peter Siddle. Pete Siddle, Pete Siddle's again another person who's been out there with injury and whatnot. But for Peter Siddle, he's coming back from injury, and he bowled actually 27-28 overs, and he's not very stiff in the second test, which is going around right now. So I'm not going to be worrying about that. But if you guys have any better ideas on how I can simulate injuries, then you can tell me, because I'm just looking at the fast bowlers for injuries, because Australia's fast bowlers are the ones who actually pick up a lot of injuries. It's not because they're fit, it's because they actually have a tremendous workload wherever they go. Even in India, you see them bowling 20, 21 overs. And yes, I understand that pace bowling is your strength, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna bring in your pace bowlers whenever you want to. Now these videos will be extra long, but here and there, like for example, I'm not going to be showing you every two, every one, etc. That was a bad delivery straight on the plats. I mean, I rarely bowl with square leg, fine leg, and all those kind of things. I just bowl to a strict outside off field, so it restricts my ideas a little bit. But that's where, as a fast bowler, me as a fast bowler, not the game's fast bowler, I tried 5 dot balls so far, and then all of a sudden they just go. There's a catching opportunity, and unfortunately Mr. Travis Head, who was there, and I'll take part of the blame, but just to put the series into point of view, I'm just gonna say that Travis Head tried to get there, and unfortunately his legs couldn't carry him there, and unfortunately that's a half chance gone begging. And now this is another boundary, so I'm not able to control the run rate. They're playing quite well, Sammy Aslam and Azhar Ali. So John Holland's brought into your attack. John Holland didn't have a very good show. You could see John Holland being very nervous during the first match. So 3 balls up, single push through the cover region, gets 1. And don't worry, I'm not going to be showing every single 2, 4, whatnot. I'm just going to be showing certain deliveries here and there, because the series will get a bit redundant, especially if you're playing test matches and you guys want to see every single and whatnot. Then yes, but as far as I'm concerned, that this 90 whatnot is just not gonna help. And it's just how the series works. John Holland back to Sammy Aslam, I think, and push through the vacant region, extra cover, and he'll take a single and he'll keep striking for the 7th over. John Holland back. That 7th over was pretty uneventful. I think it's just a single one, and I forgot to convert back from my Peter Siddle over, so he just tossed it up. It was a good delivery actually. Wouldn't have done much. I got Mitch Marsh. Now Mitch Marsh, remember, I brought down his bowling stats just in case you care. Takes it over extra cover Sammy Aslam, because I don't recognize. Look, Mitch Marsh has developed his batting, but he's still that worthless bowler that he was. Now Peter Siddle, drop catch by Tim Payne. I'm actually very bad at those reflex catches. If you see, I keep dancing it around. So that was the first real attempt of the game, not counting that Travis had half chance. And then when I say Mitch Marsh is a worthless bowler, he comes up and does this absolute ripper. Travis Head making up for his mistake and catching it. And now, if you guys can see this wicket actually, and then I had one power fluctuation at my house, so the recording actually got corrupted. Not, I won't say this recording, but the game crashed, and then no data was synced. So so right now I'm going to be trying to run out Sammy Aslam and then count the wicket for Mitch Marsh, or try to get some other bowler to get him out. Anyway, Babar Azam walks out to bat. So yeah, like I said, I got Sammy Aslam run out. So then Mitchell Stark continued. So Mitchell Stark's over, actually the previous over, whatever, for that loss in current and whatever. So then saved. So I got him out. And this one I ran over the boundary rope, giving Azhar Ali after a long time a run. I don't think he scored in a long time. So after a specific point, I actually started simming, and I think this was a drop catch. No, I actually caught it, I believe. Yeah, brilliant catch from Tim Payne, making amends for that drop catch in the previous innings. But spoiler alert, I am going to be dropping a few in this video. So like I said, I'm going to be planning on simulating a lot of things, because I don't necessarily have the time to play 90 overs. So after a specific point, I actually started simming, and you'll see towards the end of the video that there'll be some sim parts. And tell me guys if you really want to see the replays, because the replays actually get a bit redundant after a point. So I've cut down the replays as Yunus Khan walks out to bat. And don't worry, for the second test I'll be reshuffling all the Pakistan teams, because I actually find it hard. I found it quite hard to bowl to Yunus Khan, and this was the drop catch, I believe. I finally got Azhar Ali to play a wrong one, and then I actually understood my fault there. I actually made the keeper stand up to the stumps. It was up, and this was a half chance. I don't know if I could have got there, because it was holding right trigger as much as I can. So because the first time I dropped that half chance with Travis Head, I realized that you were supposed to get to the red box in time. So I was holding down RT and I still couldn't get there. So I don't know, maybe it was never a catch. Because sometimes it happens to me in career mode. So I don't know. And so I didn't know if it was a fault on my part, but I have been dropping because this one I got there relatively easily. And I think this was Travis Hen or maybe Labuschagne. Yeah, Travis had picking up a second catch of the match. So really turning out to be a gun fielder for us. Hopefully he can step up with the bat as Unicorn makes a long walk to the pavilion, making 14. But I could have got him at one. No, no, sorry, that was Azhar Ali. See, these I've been dropping so many that I'm losing track of who I've been dropping. Misbah, like the captain walks in, and this dismissal that actually pops up right now will be absolutely hilarious. And I'm gonna be truthful that I didn't do anything. I wasn't related. So it was a terrible call, and then they started to run, and then I got run out. I think. Reflecting on it, I think I'd been better off hitting the non-strikers end because I could have got Azhar Ali out. But better to get rid of Misbah Alak. So he walks back, and it was a terrible call from Azhar Ali actually. The ex-captain, I think he was captain, and now he's running out the current captain. So I think he'll be very angry with that. And Misbah Alak, not the quick, and Pakistanis are generally not the quickest picking the wickets as Asad Shafiq walks out to the crease. I actually dropped him. Yeah, see, this was a hard chance at second slip. I don't. I think it was Sean Marsh there, and I completely fumbled the attempt. If you look at my all these reflex catches, I actually get the left stick inside the green circle sometimes. This time I couldn't even get it there, so it was actually quite hard at chance. But I shouldn't be talking. And Azhar Ali, after running out as captain, I don't think he could play with the guilt, trying to go over the top and getting out. It's wonderful catch there by Aaron Finch, and this Australian team, I have to say, is a wonderful fielding team. And Australians have never been bad at fielding except during the 2015 Ashes when they were quite bad. Now this is what surprised me. I think as Mitch Marsh was bowling, and he's been very good at his confidence level was quite high, and I couldn't believe that Sarfraz Ahmed, who hadn't faced a single ball, could come out and whack the ball over the rope. And I was actually running out of ideas towards the mid phase, and I think this is time. I think it will be the last over before lunch. No, this is the over before lunch. So we head into lunch on day one as Pakistan end at 90 for 5 at lunch. So after that, a couple of hours later, Peter Siddle. After this is the kind of the dry phase, I would say, of the match. Generally in the UAE, you see that lunchtime is one of the worst times to watch actually, unless you're one hardcore cricket fan or you're a reporter or a journalist. I don't think anything is gonna actually accept the fact that you're gonna sit there and watch it for a long time. It's not exactly convenient, and it was exactly for me. And I was filming this at the afternoon, so it was kind of frustrating for me at this time period, and that's what made me realize that maybe I should see. If you look at it, there's been a huge gap, 9 overs or something between the last eventful and this 6. So then I decided, well, let's start simming because I'm not gonna have all day for all these things. So if you take a look, I think next over was quite weird. I think this was the wicket taking. No, it was a 4. Yeah. So I was actually getting frustrated. So I removed because they were scoring a lot of singles through mid on, and one almost went to the rope. So I decided, well, let's remove my gully, and then he scores exactly one through gully, and this one's also goes through gully, I believe. Yeah, so I was getting absolutely frustrated because he was scoring it off edges, and I was actually bored. And Mitch Starc wasn't, like I said, Mitch Starc's got only that certain amount of overs that I can bowl with him. So immediately I made a field change. I brought in Gully into view by taking off my Hoover. I took off deep mid on and I put Gully in. And you can immediately see that pressure that he had. He couldn't score freely, and immediately a wicket fell in that over. Caught behind, Tim Payne is not going to drop that. That's the simplest of catches, and there I actually moved the keeper back. So he was not normal, but he was 2 steps back. So it makes sense that so if I put it back, then it becomes easier for me to take catches. And anyway, next batsman. So as I mentioned, I simulated. So they got there to 177 for 8, and straight away, not much happened. So I just found out I just bowled a short ball, and Yasir Shah got the wicket. Until then, it was just running singles all around the place. I was bowling short, but I didn't have that gully backward point region. So here comes Imran Khan Jr. I finally found out who he was, and then I stuck to the plan of bowling short against the tailenders because the Yorker plan didn't exactly work. So this time he goes towards. It was some weird field they had actually. I think it was very fine leg or something. I don't know. They had some weird name. So as we head into tea at 183 for 9, Pakistan. So Imran Khan, Peter Siddle, and now this was one pathetic drop catch I actually dropped. So, well, pathetic drop catch, say. And then I could have a rebound chance at first slip, and then it never really let me move the left stick. I mean, I moved it for sure, and I didn't show anything. Now, Stark, as you can see, has bowled his quota of the 18 overs. That means the next innings, I don't know what the rule was. I'll make sure to reiterate the rule before I start the next innings. So, Aussie Glory as Australia walk into bat. Mohammad Amir with the new ball. Aaron Finch and Uzi Khawaja. Aaron Finch on debut. You can see that he's clearly nervous to get off the strike as bats a single right to the fair, right to extra cover, tries for the one and puts in the big dive. Mohammad Amir not so, and generally most people when would like to have their test debuts against Pakistan because it wasn't a great fielding team, but now they're actually not that bad with the rise of Fahim Ashraf, Shadab Khan and all those people, but still overall they're still not that great. Now you'll find that the fact that I am particularly very bad playing left-hand batsman. I'm not that great playing right-hand batsman, but I'm very bad playing left-hand batsman. So generally what I do is I just go walk across the crease and try to swat it to a square leg. And as you'll see in maybe in 2-3 overs that I actually get out with Khawaja playing that shot. It's kind of, look, I don't predict where the ball lands very good with the right-hander. And with my non-dominant hand, I'm even worse. So I don't even know. And I wanted to score, make sure to score show the scorecard next time around. So you guys get an idea of who's bowled how much. And I'll give you a heads up, it's mainly going to be Cyril and Stark who's taken much of the workload. Now you might be saying in the UAE you can prefer the spinners, but I don't know, this Dubai worked out pretty weirdly to say in the least. Now this was a pretty eventful first over. And he scored a lot of runs. Now you might be wondering if I'm trying to keep in track with the actual series, and I'm not really trying to do so in any way possible. If this match ends up to be a draw, then it's a draw. It's not I am playing for the draw. Quite clearly with the run rate I'm going and I'm looking for the win. And I found out that it's very tiring to bowl on 90 overs. So mostly I'll just sim the second innings and then I'll bat. I want to bat actually. So I'm definitely not going to bowl because I keep dropping catches. I mean, really, they could have been all out for 180 by now. I dropped some 7-8 catches. Maybe if you have the patience to sit through this again, then maybe you can. Wahab Riaz entering the attack. And after that, you can see that it's only 1 over later that something eventful happens. And unfortunately, it's not the event that we're looking for. Underedge trying to cut it and pretty poor shot there in the end. And I don't even know in what circumstance they were actually asking for the review. I was straight not. So Sean Marsh walks in with an average of 37. Hopefully that I can improve on it. So again, the Australian T20 series, Australia not performing very well after that first test. So I mean, you may be wondering that I was just talking about the first test at the beginning of the video, and the Tigers starts out with an overthrow boundary. Wow, Sean Marsh, what a way to get off the mark with the boundary. So, like I was saying, I expected 5 because I thought it crossed over, but I don't really know the rules for the 5 runs extra. And this was again, I tried to go across and he almost dropped it, but used his elbow in the end. And I guess I could have asked for a review, but I didn't want to because I clearly had the controller vibrating. Mitch Marsh out to come. I don't know. I think I might have edited his name to be Mitch Marsh, or in the system it's Mitch Marsh. I don't know. I think it's Mitchell Marsh, but I edited. I make all these Mitch, except for Swepson. It's Mitch Swepson there, Mitchell Swepson for there. But mostly I just stick with the Mitches because Mitch is better. So Mitch Marsh off at the boundary through the vacant cover region, and it wouldn't have gone for 4. I could have easily taken 6 there, but those guys actually tipped the ball over the rope. Negative playing by Pakistan, and then I don't know why mid-off was actually quite dreaming there. And it wasn't such a great shot. If you look at it, it was good overall. And then again they tipped that over the boundary rope. So this, I'm really wondering if Pakistan are playing for us right now. I don't know if Australia is fielding a 14-side team because the amount of people, and this time Sean Marsh getting into the action. So you may be wondering that, see, if you look at it, there's actually the correct weird way. 50 partnership offered the Marsh brothers, and I'm really keying them as the key players for us to win the 2019 World Cup at the moment. And I also forgot during the introduction of the series, not the 2020 World Cup was not my aim. The aim was to win the 2019 Ashes in England. And that's the one that I'm hoping for. 2020 World Cup, T20 World Cup, that's later. But for now, it's just rebuilding this team. So Sean Marsh playing well with a couple of boundaries. And then here comes yet another boundary. This time again through that square leg region. He's sitting at either side of that forward square leg. And I don't think Pakistan are very happy with the way these things are going. They're leaking runs at about on just on the 6 and over. And then just as I was saying that, Nick caught behind to the keeper. Sean Marsh has to depart again. That's that tendency of mine to walk across my stumps, and I wasn't really sure that was a catch. I was actually trying to score it through that vacant fine leg region, but audacity sometimes tends to get the better of people. Travis Head faces 7 balls before he can get off the mark, much in the similar way Sean Marsh did. But for Travis Head on debut to get off the mark with a overthrow boundary is always going to put some confidence into the player. But it took me 7 balls really to get off the mark. I didn't want to risk Travis Head getting run out, because if you take a look, I don't have much players coming in, and with that edge through the point region, Mitch Marsh brings up his 50, and it's the first 50 of the series and the first 50 of an Australian player, and hopefully many more to come for the Australian Test vice captain. That brings me to the end of day 1.